Hello and welcome everybody. Hope you're having a nice, Wednesday? We are making meatloaf with garlic mashed potatoes and steamed broccoli. So I tried to time it out to where we could save time and try to maybe knock this out in an hour, so let's see if we can do it. I pre-made the meatloaf, and what I want to do right now is baste it with our pre-made glaze. So I'm going to explain this whole thing here in a little bit, but what you want to start with, we're going to take our glaze. It's been in the oven for 15 minutes, so we're going to use about half of it, and we are basting it onto all over the outside of it. And then it's going to go back into the 325 degree oven for 15 more minutes. So once I finish this, I'll start diving into the actual recipe and chatting with you guys, and we can get this show started. But I was thinking ahead, and I was thinking, you know what, it'd be great if I can find a way to do this without taking 2 hours, on these live streams. Finding a way to kind of really keep it within a 6 to 7 time frame. So a lot of that is just obviously planning ahead and getting a lot of stuff out of the way early. So there's hardly any prep work to do along the way. So I'm gonna baste this a little bit more, and then it's going back in the oven for 15 minutes. All right, I think that's good. So we'll put that aside for now. And this is going back in for 15. Doing good on time, all right. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so we're gonna dive right in. I'm gonna explain the process of this in a little bit, but I think we should go ahead and dive in and take care of these potatoes. So we've got about 2 pounds of potatoes, russet potatoes. First thing we want to do is peel these. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. I thought about trying to peel these ahead of time, but one thing about potatoes, they'll start to brown up pretty quickly if you peel them and just leave them out. Probably could have put them in some ice water and they would have been fine, but I think this won't take very long. But yeah, so I'm trying to find a way to continually make these a little bit more fun and interesting, and more than anything, a little bit shorter, because when I just start from beginning to end, I can think that I can do it in an hour, but then I turn around and it's about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. So I'm gonna try to find a way to do more prep work ahead of time, and either show videos of what I did earlier, show you pictures, and do that more while some of the food is cooking and baking. I think that just makes a little bit more sense. You guys have any shows you've been watching recently? Jamie and I have recently gotten on a kick of watching reruns of How I Met Your Mother. Forget how funny that show is. But we've been watching that quite a bit lately. Need to find a new show. We've had some different people give us some suggestions. We'll have to actually start watching them. Let's see if we find something that hooks on us. So we're just peeling the potatoes right now for the garlic mashed potatoes. And then what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to cube them up into smaller pieces and then cover them with water, a little kosher salt, and then set that to a boil, let that cook for about 15 minutes. And then while that's cooking, I'm going to show you guys how I made the lasagna that I just showed you. The meatloaf that I just showed you. Lasagna would be good sometime to do that one. Yeah, I'll show you. I took a bunch of pictures, and I'll try to narrate a little bit along the way to explain the whole process. I think this is going to be the way to do it. I think, honestly, moving forward, it's finding a way to not just cook in front of you guys, but really explain and show you pictures and more detailed process of actually making everything. I may even start sending out a recipe in newsletters moving forward or something like that, just to really kind of not just try to entertain you guys, but also give you if that was the dryer, give you suggestions on not suggestions, give you the actual recipes, what I'm doing, in case you actually want to make it yourself, or make it along with me. Be kind of fun. So I'll talk to you guys on Facebook here in a minute once I finish up with this. Like I said, I'm just trying to kind of cut down the time of these live streams a bit. Now that I have kind of figured out a way to do it this way with making it ahead of time and then just taking a bunch of pictures and explaining it during the live stream, as you'll see, it's making me realize this is kind of going to open up a lot of opportunities with these live streams that I think will be a lot of fun. I think it's going to allow me to do things like Greek food. I can just make a lot of it ahead of time and take a bunch of pictures, maybe even incorporate some videos, kind of almost like a live presentation / live stream, something like that. I think that might be kind of a cool deal. All right, we're on the last potato. Almost there. All right. Okay, that's good. Let's just real quick. Okay, got our peeled potatoes here. Let's see. There we go. What I'm just gonna do is cube these up into about 1-inch cubes. And then they are going into the, actually that's plenty, that's good right there. Then they're gonna go underwater and, oop, 5-second rule. I'll rinse it though. And these are going to go through a ricer here in a little bit once they're cooked. It'll really make them very soft and give them kind of a whipped texture. California. I got this song stuck in my head as I've been doing some research on Merle Haggard and learning some of his songs and prepping for the live stream tomorrow night, which I hope you guys can be a part of. I came across a song called California Cotton Fields, and I really like it. I think it's a great song. It's one that I'd never heard of, but it's stuck in my head though. Okay, so we're gonna add all of our potatoes here. Going to cover them with water. Add a little bit of kosher salt. And then what we're gonna do next is turn this up, bring that to a boil, and then we're gonna cook them for about 15 minutes until they're tender. All right, so that's good to have that done. We've got about 4 minutes left here on that. Let me check out my timeline here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick beverage. And then here, once I baste the meatloaf again, I will then show you guys the process. All right. Cheers, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Made it halfway through the week. Okay. So, 2 minutes. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, take advantage of this time that we have. Let's see. Okay, so for any of you that might have just joined, currently I have the meatloaf in the oven and made it beforehand. I'm getting ready to show you how I made it. We've got the potatoes cut up, peeled and cut up, and they're on the stove. Once those are cooked through, we'll work on making our mashed potatoes along with this meatloaf. We have 1 minute left here before I need to take the meatloaf out, and then I'm going to baste it one last time, put it in for another 15 minutes, and then, let me check. Yeah, once I take it out and baste it, then it's going to go back in for 20 to 25 minutes. Not too shabby. All right, so we got 30 seconds and then we'll work on that. I'm excited about this meatloaf. I've actually never made this exact recipe before. It's similar to one I've made in the past, but it's a little bit different, so I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I will say, by the way, last week when I made the grilled cheese, not so good. It was, I didn't like the cheese at least. The process was interesting, but everything else was great that night, but the grilled cheese, don't know if I'll be doing it that way again. All right, so we had 15 minutes here. I'm gonna take this out, baste it again, put that glaze on there. It's smelling really great. All right, we're gonna put the rest of the glaze here on it. So we're just gonna totally drench it. And I'll tell you what's in the glaze here in just a second. It's kind of like basting ribs in a way. Basting's not really the right word, I don't think. What's the word I'm trying to think of? It's like you're painting ribs. Gotta say, my mom makes some mean meatloaf. Always brings back good memories. But it's fun to try new versions and kind of make it your own. But it's always, anytime we visit my parents, have meals like that, just brings you back to your childhood, makes it hard to beat. That's why a big part of me learning how to cook and wanting to learn a lot of new recipes and get good at it, more than anything is, you know, I want to be able to provide that for my kids someday, you know, be able to cook a lot of different meals and want them to have great memories of home-cooked meals. It does a lot. It does a lot for you in your life, I think. It brings a lot of happiness to you. All right. Almost there. All right. Okay. I think we're ready to go back in. 20 to 25 minutes. You want the internal temperature to be roughly 155 degrees. So let's get that back in there. Our potatoes are boiling quicker than I thought they would. All right, I'm gonna say 20 first. Go with 20 and then go from there. All right, so they're already boiling. I'm gonna take that down a little bit. Those will go for about roughly the same amount of time. Well, 15 actually, so they should be finished before then. Okay. You're welcome. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to show you guys how to make this. I'll give you a quick look over here. The potatoes. Well, you can see them. Okay. Let's go through the recipe and then we're going to go through how I actually made it. So, here's the recipe. Homemade meatloaf with garlic mashed potatoes. So, for the meatloaf, 6 ounces of buttermilk, if you can read it, 5 ounces of breadcrumbs, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, half an onion diced, stalk of celery grated, 1 large carrot grated, 2 1/4 pounds ground chuck, 1/4 cup of tomato paste, 1/4 cup of fresh parsley chopped, 1/8 of a cup of fresh basil chopped, 2 large eggs beaten, 1 1/2 teaspoons Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon kosher salt, 1 1/2 teaspoons of freshly ground pepper, 4 ounces of ketchup, a tablespoon of tomato paste, 1 1/2 ounce brown sugar, 1/2 ounce of honey, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Garlic mashed potatoes, 2 pounds of russet potatoes, 8 ounces of heavy cream, 4 ounces of unsalted butter, 6 cloves of garlic minced, 6 ounces of pecorino romano grated, kosher salt, and freshly ground pepper. Now let me get into this for you guys and explain how I actually made it. So let's start with the pictures. See if we can get this right. Okay, so we started with buttermilk, breadcrumbs, and garlic powder, and got that ready to go. Here we have our buttermilk, which is 6 ounces. So you add 6 ounces of buttermilk in a small bowl. Then you add 5 ounces of breadcrumbs. I used Italian herb breadcrumbs. Thought it might go well with this, but 5 ounces of breadcrumbs. Then a teaspoon of garlic powder. A teaspoon of garlic powder added to the grouping. Then you make it basically into a buttermilk mixture. Mix it up and then set it aside until later. Here you have an onion. What you're gonna do with that onion is you're gonna mince it. And you're only gonna mince half of it. We're only using half of an onion for this, so mince it up. Now, you have a carrot. With that carrot, you're going to actually grate it. You're gonna grate the carrot. And then you're going to set that aside for later. Next, you're going to grab yourself a stalk of celery. Then you're going to grate that as well. Next, you're going to set that aside and you're going to grab some parsley. you're going to chop that parsley up into a 1/4 cup, as you see. Next, you're going to get yourself some basil. And then you're going to chop it up, as you see, into 1/8 cup. So you want 1/8 cup of basil. Then you're going to go and you're going to get some tomato paste. A 1/4 cup of tomato paste. 1/4 cup. And you're going to set that aside. You're going to go get 2 large eggs. And you're going to get a small bowl and you're going to beat those 2 eggs. Then you're going to get 1½ teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. And set that aside. Then you're going to get yourself some salt, preferably some kosher salt. Then you're going to get yourself some freshly ground pepper. And what you're going to do now is get a big bowl and you're going to get your 2 1/4 pounds of ground chuck, put them in that bowl. Then you're going to take the onions that you cut up and you're going to add those to the bowl. Then you're going to go get your carrots that you grated and you're going to add that to the bowl. Then you're going to get the celery that you grated and you're going to add that to the bowl. Then you're going to get your parsley that you chopped and go ahead and throw that in the bowl too. Then that basil that you chopped up, that 1/8 cup, you're going to throw that in as well. Then we're going to get our buttermilk breadcrumb mixture that we made at the beginning and we're going to throw that in. Now we're going to grab the tomato paste that we just set aside and we're going to add that as well. Now we're going to add the Worcestershire sauce that we set aside. We're going to add a little bit of salt and we're going to add a little bit of freshly ground pepper. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to form this mixture together into something that looks like that. Then we're going to take a loaf pan or dish and we're going to spray it with something like Pam, some sort of canned oil or just oil in general. You're going to spread the oil around the dish. Then you're going to take that meatloaf mixture and you're going to form it in that dish. So it creates a nice textured form, a nice rectangle. Then you're going to line a pan with foil, as you see, and you're going to take that dish and you're going to flip it on its, you're going to flip it over onto the pan. And you're going to lift that dish and release the meatloaf, and there it is, ready to be baked. So then we set that aside and we start making the glaze. We're going to add 4 ounces of ketchup, a tablespoon of tomato paste, 1½ ounces of brown sugar, ½ an ounce of honey, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Then you're going to add a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. You're going to throw in a little bit of ground black pepper. And you're going to whisk until combined. You're going to whisk that up, combine it, mix it up, and then set it aside either in the fridge or just off to the side until you're ready to use it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how you put it together. So let's go back to the live scene. And that's how it's put together. So we have 11 minutes left on the meatloaf until we check that. Probably in about 5 or 6 minutes, we're going to check the potatoes. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, we'll check the potatoes here in a minute. All right, let me come back to you guys real quick. Give a couple more minutes on the potatoes. So what are you guys making tonight? You guys have any special dinner you're making on this Wednesday? Yeah, I'll go ahead and mention, since Cinco de Mayo is next week, I'm gonna make a special, I just saw myself touch my ear. I'm gonna make some chimichangas, I'm gonna make some homemade guacamole and chips, and some margaritas, some frozen margaritas. Top shelf frozen margaritas. So, those of you that live in Austin, you're welcome to Austin or San Antonio, you're welcome to join the fun. So let's see if we can get this by 7. That'd be pretty cool. Smells delicious. Wow, that meatloaf smells really, really good. I'm gonna light a candle. Ooh. I'm thinking these potatoes are probably ready to go. Let's see. Yeah. They're full tender. Right. So now we're gonna take the potatoes and drain them. Just move this since I'm not using this anymore. We're gonna do our broccoli in here. Right. So now we have our potatoes here, and we're ready to start ricing them. So we're gonna take our handy dandy ricer, and these are pretty hot, so I'm gonna use a fork. And we're just simply going to drop the pieces of potato here. Some of these are a little bit already mashed a little bit. All right, that's good for this. And we're just going to try to get a good look at it. We're just going to rice it like that. This has quickly become my favorite way of doing mashed potatoes because it really, texture-wise, it depends on how you want it. If you want it more mash style, that can be really good. It's a great way to do it if you're in the mood for that style. And then sometimes if you want more of a, creamy, whipped styled mashed potato, this is the way to do it with the potato ricer. It's weirdly satisfying to push the potatoes through with the potato ricer. Weirdly satisfying. I think this is actually going to be a great amount for the two of us. Maybe a little bit of leftovers, but not much. All right, so we got our potatoes all riced here, ready to go. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add some ingredients that I've already measured out, just to kind of save time. We're going to add 8 ounces of heavy whipping cream. We're going to add 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We're going to add 6 cloves of garlic, which I minced a little bit earlier. 6 ounces of Pecorino Romano cheese. And let's go ahead and mix that up now. And then we'll just simply add kosher salt and black pepper to all this, and these potatoes are going to be ready to go. This is actually kind of a combination of a couple of different recipes that I've tried over the last couple of years, and trying to take the best of both worlds from multiple recipes. I think one thing I'm learning with mashed potatoes is adding some cheese to it can really be, especially grated cheese. You gotta have the right cheese, either Parmesan or Romano, but can really add a nice touch, have a subtle touch to the mashed potatoes. All right, let's check our meatloaf and see what the temperature on meatloaf is. See if we're on target, if we need to keep it a little bit longer. God, it looks fantastic. All right. That's what it looks like. Let's see what the temperature reads. Center. Yep, we're done. I think we're done. It's reading 155 in the center, right at it. That's perfect. Now we just want it to cool. So, nice. Yeah, now we just want it to cool for about 10 minutes. So, our meatloaf is donezo. Right on time. So I'll give you a look at it. There you go. What I'm going to do now is transfer it over to see if I can do this. Oh shit. Well, just came apart on me. Tried to move it, but that's fine. You can just, you saw it when it was pretty. Okay, so our mashed potatoes are done. I'm gonna put a little foil on those. Huh? No, I'm gonna let it cool for a few minutes and then I'll slice it up for us. It was 155. I'm trying to tell. You read 155, so it's gotta be done. All right. It's gonna keep. Yeah, no, it was 155 in the center, and it'll keep cooking a little bit too. So don't wanna. I think. Yeah. All right. Now we're just working on the steamed broccoli here, waiting for it to come up, and then we'll be done. I don't know how people, it's called to transfer it to a cooling rack, but I'm like, how the hell are you supposed to transfer a huge meatloaf to a cooling rack? But yeah, those are the small things you learn. But yeah, I just was thinking in my head, I was like, maybe just don't screw with it. But that's the thing about taking recipes from other people. You gotta learn how to make it your own. That's why I think some of the first few, especially that I did, I had done a lot of those quite a few times, so I kind of learned, you know, the best way to do things, because you get recipes on the internet and you watch YouTube videos. I mean, people can make it look like it's, because they doctor up a video and they edit it, they can make it look like it's so easy, but there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that, you know, they make errors, and it's just a learning process. Because there's people that I follow that try recipes all the time for the first time, and you know, they screw up along the way. It's just so much of it is you just gotta learn this, you know, just like with foil, how that broke on me. He even said, he was like, I used parchment paper the first time and learned it stuck to the bottom of his meatloaf. And this is the guy that I got this recipe from, and he said, you know, he tried it with parchment paper thinking it'd make it easy to transfer it onto a cooling rack, but not the case, because it stuck to the bottom. So he says use foil, but this foil was too weak. I probably needed more of a heavy-duty foil for this to be able to lift it, but it just shows you just little things like that you have to kind of figure out. But it looks good, it smells good. I think once we cut it open and plate it, it's gonna be really good. So, what's this broccoli? What's this water for the broccoli? Comes up. So yeah, if you get a chance, check out the live stream tomorrow night. I'll be doing Merle Haggard, all Merle Haggard songs. Looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. Definitely learned some new Haggard songs this week. It's always good. Water. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that's going back in. Pop it back in the oven for a little bit. It's just, this is the stuff with, you know, this is why, kind of why I'm doing this in a way, because it's just, you know, you have the pre-edited, recorded videos that, you know, people are like Wizard of Oz and they try to make everything look perfect, but these are good because it shows you, you know, with cooking, it's so much of a learning process, and you know, you take a recipe for the first time and you try it and you go, it says the internal temperature, it's got to, you know, to be 155. I don't, honestly, sometimes I'm learning, I don't trust the reading temperature of stuff, because you'll stick a thermometer in it and it says 155 and you look at it and you go, this looks rare to me. So a lot of it, I think, is feel. A lot of it is, you know, just kind of judging it along the way. So, oh, we turned the oven off, so let's turn this back on. Yeah. Just like I was saying last week, I tried that grilled cheese for the first time, and I go, man, it just had a really funky taste to it. The rest of the meal was great. Chicken noodle soup was great, everything, because I had made that before, but yeah, just kind of one of those things with the grilled cheese. It's like, I probably don't want to do it like this again. I know how to make regular grilled cheese, but that was a, kind of an experiment. But it's fun to do that. You learn, it's the only way to learn new things. So we're just gonna leave that in there for a little bit. I'll probably take it out about 7. I kind of tried to rush it a little bit tonight. Sounds like our water is doing good here, so that's good. We'll put our So we're just going to steam the broccoli for about 5-6 minutes, and then we'll add a little bit of butter and salt, and by that time, hopefully the meatloaf will be happy with us at that point. I think I prematurely cut into it because my thermometer said it was 155, but whatever. That's how it goes, guys. I think I'm gonna take a quick break while this stuff stabilizes a little bit, and then I'll be back to show you guys the final product in about 5 to 10 minutes. So if you want to stick around and see it, go ahead. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. But I'm just gonna take a quick break. Hey guys, so the meatloaf is, the timing is a little bit off. First time doing this particular meatloaf, and probably should have cooked it before I made it tonight, but it smells amazing, it looks great, it's gonna be really, really good. I know it just needs more time, and I don't want to keep you guys hanging. So hope you like the few changes that we're making here, and I showed you the mashed potatoes, the broccoli. I can show you that real quick. I mean, it's not a big deal, but well, actually, you can see it here. There you go. The broccoli, and we're gonna put some butter and salt on it, and so hopefully this meatloaf will cook soon. This particular recipe, I think, might be a little bit, need some work as far as the timing of everything. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy watching it, and hope you have a great week. Hope you have a great weekend. And please tune in tomorrow night if you get the chance to hear the Merle Haggard live stream from 6 to 7 on Facebook Live. Yeah, I'll see you then. Have a great night.